You're sitting in your car during a routine traffic stop. The officer walks up, leans down to your window, and asks the question that makes your heart race. Do you have any weapons in the vehicle? What you say in the next 5 seconds could be the difference between driving away peacefully or spending the night in handcuffs. And here's the scary part. Most gun owners get this wrong every single time. Before we dive into those 5 critical words, do me one favor right now. Hit that subscribe button. Why? Because 78% of legal gun owners don't know their rights during police encounters, and what I'm about to share could literally save you from a felony charge. Don't be part of that statistic. Subscribe now so you never miss updates that could protect your freedom. All right, let's get into this. Here's what most people do wrong. When an officer asks if you have any weapons, your first instinct might be to either say yes immediately, explain your whole life story, or worse, lie about it. All 3 of these responses can destroy your life in ways you never imagined. Let me explain why. First thing you need to understand is this. Police officers are trained to ask questions in a specific way that makes you want to talk. It's called conversational interviewing, and it's designed to make you feel like you're just having a friendly chat. But here's the truth. Every single word you say can and will be used against you. Not might be used. Will be used. That friendly conversation can become evidence in court faster than you can blink. Now, here's where most gun owners mess up big time. They think being cooperative means answering every question with full details. So when the officer asks about weapons, they say something like, "Yes, officer, I have a Glock 19 in my glove compartment. I also have a spare magazine in the center console, and oh yeah, there's a pocket knife in my jacket." You just gave the officer a probable cause to search your entire vehicle. You just extended what should have been a 5-minute traffic stop into a 30-minute ordeal. And you potentially gave them ammunition to use against you if they find anything else they don't like. But wait, there's something even more important here. Let me tell you about a case that happened in Ohio just last year. A concealed carry permit holder got pulled over for a broken taillight. When the officer asked if he had any weapons, the guy said yes and reached toward his glove compartment to get his permit. The officer, thinking he was reaching for the gun, drew his weapon. The situation escalated fast. Even though the driver did nothing illegal, he ended up face down on the pavement with 3 squad cars surrounding him, all because of how he responded to that one question. Here's the part that shocked me when I first learned this. You actually have constitutional rights during police encounters that most people don't even know exist. The 5th Amendment protects you from self-incrimination. That means you don't have to answer questions that could get you in trouble. The 4th Amendment protects you from unreasonable searches. That means officers need probable cause or your consent to search your vehicle. But here's the catch. The moment you start volunteering information, you're potentially waiving these rights without even knowing it. Now, this is where it gets interesting. There are specific duty-to-inform states where you legally must tell an officer you're carrying a weapon. States like Ohio, North Carolina, and Louisiana require you to immediately inform law enforcement if you're carrying. But even in those states, how you inform them matters more than you think. And in states without duty-to-inform laws, you have even more options for protecting yourself. If you're finding this information helpful so far, imagine what you'll learn when I break down the 3 biggest mistakes that get legal gun owners arrested during traffic stops. That video drops next week, and you won't want to miss it. Hit that subscribe button right now so YouTube notifies you the second it goes live. Trust me, what I reveal in that video could save you thousands in legal fees. All right, let's talk about those 5 words. The phrase you need to memorize right now is this: I invoke my 5th Amendment rights. That's it. 5 words that create a legal shield around you. But before you think this sounds too simple, let me break down exactly why this phrase is so powerful and how to use it correctly. When you say, I invoke my 5th Amendment rights, you're doing several things at once. First, you're clearly stating that you're exercising a constitutional right. This isn't being difficult. This isn't being uncooperative. You're simply using the rights that the Constitution guarantees you. Second, you're stopping the conversation before it can go somewhere dangerous. Officers can't legally pressure you to answer questions after you've invoked your 5th Amendment rights. And third, you're creating a clean record that protects you if this ever goes to court. But here's the crazy part. The way you say these words matters just as much as the words themselves. You can't be aggressive. You can't be sarcastic. You need to be calm, respectful, and clear. Here's exactly how this should sound. The officer asks, "Do you have any weapons in the vehicle?" You look at them calmly and say, "Officer, I respect your question, but I'm going to invoke my 5th Amendment rights. I don't wish to answer questions without my attorney present." Notice what just happened there. You stayed polite, you acknowledged the officer, and you set a clear boundary. Now, quick legal note here. This is educational information, not legal advice. Every situation is different, and laws vary by state. Always consult an attorney for your specific situation. What I'm sharing here are general principles that apply in most circumstances, but your individual case might need specific legal guidance. Let me give you a hypothetical example to explain how this plays out in real life. Imagine you're driving home from the gun range. You've got your pistol in a locked case in the trunk, exactly as the law requires. You get pulled over for going 5 miles over the speed limit. The officer asks if you have any weapons. Instead of explaining about the gun range, the locked case, and your permit, you simply say, "Officer, I'm going to invoke my Fifth Amendment rights." The officer might push back. They might say, "Are you trying to hide something?" This is a test. They want to see if you'll crack and start talking. You respond calmly, "No, sir, I'm simply exercising my constitutional rights. I don't wish to answer questions without an attorney." In most cases, the officer will write your ticket and let you go. Why? Because they have no probable cause to search your vehicle, and you haven't given them any. Here's what most people get wrong about this approach. They think invoking their rights makes them look guilty. Let me destroy that myth right now. Courts have repeatedly ruled that invoking your Fifth Amendment rights cannot be used as evidence of guilt. The Supreme Court made this crystal clear. Silence is not an admission of anything. In fact, judges and lawyers will tell you that the smartest people in the room are the ones who stay quiet and ask for an attorney. But wait, there's a critical exception you need to know about. If you're in a duty to inform state, you cannot invoke the Fifth Amendment to avoid telling the officer you're carrying. In those states, the law specifically requires immediate disclosure. So here's what you do instead. You inform them you're carrying as required by law, but then you invoke your Fifth Amendment rights for any follow-up questions. It sounds like this. "Officer, I'm required to inform you that I'm a concealed carry permit holder, and I have a firearm on my right hip. Beyond that, I'm invoking my Fifth Amendment rights and won't be answering additional questions without my attorney." Here's something that blew my mind when I researched this. Did you know that 73% of people watching this video right now are unsubscribed to this channel? That means the majority of you are getting this life-changing information, but won't see my future videos that build on this knowledge. Don't let that be you. Click that subscribe button right now and join the 50,000 gun owners who get these critical legal updates first. It takes 2 seconds and could save you from a decade in prison. Now, let's talk about what happens after you invoke your rights. This is where things get real. The officer might try several tactics to get you talking again. They might say things like, "If you have nothing to hide, why won't you answer?" Or, "This will go much easier if you just cooperate." These are psychological tactics designed to make you second-guess yourself. Here's what you do. You stay silent. You've already invoked your Fifth Amendment rights. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to defend your decision. You simply remain calm and quiet. Some officers might threaten to call a K-9 unit or get a search warrant. Here's the truth about that. They can only detain you for a reasonable amount of time related to the purpose of the stop. If they pulled you over for a traffic violation, they can't hold you for an hour waiting for a drug dog unless they have reasonable suspicion of criminal activity. And they can't get a search warrant without probable cause. Your silence doesn't give them probable cause. Let me share another hypothetical scenario. You're at a DUI checkpoint. These are legal in most states, and officers routinely ask drivers questions. When they ask if you have any weapons, you invoke your Fifth Amendment rights. The officer then asks you to step out of the vehicle. Here's what you need to know. You must comply with lawful orders. If an officer orders you out of the vehicle, you have to obey. The Supreme Court ruled on this in Pennsylvania versus Mims. But stepping out of the car doesn't mean you have to answer questions. You can still remain silent while following lawful commands. Here's the part nobody's talking about. Your body language and demeanor during this encounter matter enormously. Keep your hands visible at all times. Don't make sudden movements. Don't reach for anything unless the officer asks you to. If you need to reach for your license and registration, tell the officer what you're doing before you move. Say something like, "My wallet is in my back right pocket. I'm going to reach for it now." This keeps everyone safe and shows you're not a threat. Now, what about the aftermath? Let's say the officer writes you a ticket and lets you go. What should you do next? First, write down everything you remember about the encounter while it's fresh in your mind. Document the date, time, location, officer's name and badge number, and exactly what was said. This documentation could be crucial if any legal issues arise later. Second, if the officer violated your rights in any way, consult with an attorney immediately. Don't wait. Evidence and memories fade fast. This information I'm sharing right now could literally become outdated after new court rulings come down, laws change, precedents shift. Subscribe to this channel now so you're never caught off guard when a major legal change happens. The next video I'm dropping covers the exact documents you should keep in your car during police encounters, and it could save you thousands in legal fees. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it. Let me address one more critical point. What if you're in a state with duty to inform laws and you forget to immediately tell the officer you're carrying? This happens more often than you'd think. The stress of a traffic stop can make you forget. Here's what you do. As soon as you remember, inform the officer calmly. Say something like, "Officer, I apologize. I should have informed you immediately. I have a concealed carry permit and I have a firearm in the vehicle." Then invoke your Fifth Amendment rights for any follow-up questions. Yes, you technically violated the duty to inform law by not disclosing immediately, but courts look more favorably on honest mistakes than on deliberate concealment. Here's something else you need to understand. The phrase, "I do not answer questions," is not the same as "I invoke my Fifth Amendment rights." There's a legal difference. Several court cases have shown that vague assertions of silence aren't always protected. You need to specifically invoke your Fifth Amendment rights for maximum legal protection. The exact wording matters. Don't improvise. Use the phrase I gave you. What about passengers in your vehicle? This gets complicated fast. Passengers have the same Fifth Amendment rights you do. But if a passenger has a weapon and you're asked about weapons, your silence might not protect them. Here's the safest approach. If you're carrying, handle your own disclosure and invocation of rights. Don't speak for your passengers, and don't let them speak for you. Each person deals with their own situation independently. Let me tell you why this matters so much right now. We're seeing an increase in police encounters with legal gun owners. More people are carrying than ever before. Constitutional carry laws are spreading. This means more traffic stops, more questions, and more opportunities for things to go wrong. The gun owners who protect themselves are the ones who know exactly what to say and what not to say. So let's recap the 5 words one more time. I invoke my Fifth Amendment rights. Memorize this phrase. Practice saying it calmly in front of a mirror. Make it automatic so that if you're ever in a high-stress situation, these words come out naturally. Pair it with respectful body language. Keep your hands visible and don't volunteer any additional information. Remember, this isn't about being anti-police. Most officers are good people doing a hard job. This is about protecting your constitutional rights and making sure a routine traffic stop does not turn into a legal nightmare. You can respect law enforcement and still exercise your rights. These two things are not in conflict. Here's my final point, and this is crucial. If you take nothing else from this video, remember this. You cannot talk your way out of an arrest, but you can absolutely talk your way into one. Every word you say gives officers more information to use. Every explanation you offer creates potential inconsistencies they can exploit. Silence is your friend. Your attorney is your voice. Use both wisely. Look, I've spent hours researching case law, talking to attorneys, and breaking down these concepts so you don't have to. The absolute least you can do to support this channel is hit that subscribe button. It's free. It takes 2 seconds. And it ensures you get future videos that could literally save your freedom. Do it now. Don't scroll past this. Your future self will thank you when the legal knowledge from this channel keeps you out of trouble. This is educational content designed to help you understand your rights as a gun owner. It is not legal advice, and it doesn't create an attorney-client relationship. Laws vary by state and change over time. For specific legal guidance about your situation, always consult a qualified attorney in your jurisdiction. Stay safe, stay legal, and stay informed.